Hey everybody! A few days ago, a woman from Indiana shared a heartbreaking post on Facebook. She found a puppy that was tied to a pole in her neighborhood with a note that read, "Free to a good home." The dog looked sad and lonely, and instead of just taking the dog home, she wanted to find its owner and make sure it wasn't stolen. So she posted this picture of the dog on Facebook, hoping to find its owner. But as it turns out, the dog had been wandering around the neighborhood for days. People were coming home and seeing the dog and throwing food at it and then leaving again. No one was taking responsibility for it. So they started calling animal control. But by the time they got there, the dog was gone. So how could they ever hope to find the owner now? It's a big neighborhood, and the dog could have run anywhere by now. But luckily, people started sharing the post, and one of those people knew exactly whose dog it was. They got in touch with the owner, and they were shocked. The owner was a 46-year-old man who lived just 3 houses down the street. He said he'd lost his dog a week ago, but clearly he hadn't been looking for it, because if he had, he would have seen the post right away. The man explained that he'd gotten the dog as a puppy 2 years ago, and he named him Champ. He said he loved the dog very much, but recently, Champ had gotten out of the house several times and had chased after cars and other animals. The man admitted that he wasn't really a great dog owner and hadn't trained Champ properly. That's why he left the dog outside most of the time. But he also said that he never took the dog to the vet or socialized him either. So no wonder the dog ran away. The woman who found the dog couldn't believe what she was hearing. She couldn't understand why someone could be so careless with such a beautiful dog. The woman decided not to take Champ back to that man. Instead, she asked her friend to keep the dog until they figured out a better solution. Then she went to the man's house to confront him. She knocked on the door, and when he opened it, she told him he could never have Champ back. She said she didn't want him to be a bad owner anymore, and that he needed to know that there were consequences for his actions. She also let him know that she wasn't the only one who thought he was a bad owner. Everybody in the neighborhood agreed that he wasn't fit to take care of a dog. The poor guy started crying and begged for another chance, but it was too late. She handed him over to her friend and told him that he could never come back. He kept asking for forgiveness, but she wasn't having any of it. She felt sorry for Champ, but she wasn't going to let him go back to that guy. Then she took the post down so that nobody else would share it. She didn't want the whole neighborhood talking about him and his dog. What should the man have done differently? Well, first of all, he shouldn't have gotten a dog in the first place if he knew he could not take proper care of it. Dogs need exercise, training, and socialization. If you can't do that, then don't get a dog. It's as simple as that. Secondly, even though the man was a bad owner, that doesn't mean that Champ deserves to be treated badly. You never know what kind of trauma a dog has experienced in its past. Maybe that's why he was running away from home. If the man had taken Champ to the vet, he would have known that the dog wasn't microchipped or vaccinated. This means that the dog came from a shelter or a pet store, which means he was someone's pet at some point before he ended up with this guy. But now, Champ is in good hands. He's getting lots of love and attention, and he will never have to go back to that man. Have you ever met a bad owner like this? Let us know in the comments and share this video with your friends. We appreciate your support, and we look forward to bringing you more heartwarming stories in the future.